Good afternoon, everybody. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey, guys. All right, this is a part 2 to this D2 digital recorder. Finally got it up and running, the Poya tape. So that's a real good sign. And so it is playing fine. Good video output. The control panel was replaced, like I spoke in the previous video. New hinges, fixed the hinges on this, replaced the control panel, replaced the power switch, which was completely broken. Also had to replace the eject switch, which was also shorted out. All right, so as you can see, we got it playing. It is playing just fine on this deck. It's hard to believe, but it is actually working. We're a little ways off yet because it will not take the small shell cassettes yet. That's still a little bit of a problem, and I think it's because the motors are not engaging back and forth, probably because of an alignment problem or a greasing problem. But this deck has been sitting a long time. Plus, it was on a shelf and it was dropped at some point, probably, God only knows. But got everything cosmetically repaired and restored, and now it's just down to the maintenance of the machine, which this is the biggest pain in the ass ever to work on this deck because it's real hard to get to certain things. But the deck is playing. It does play tape, so we know it is working. The cards inside are working properly. And on right here on the control panel it says eject switch, which is not it. It's just not taking the alignment of the tape at the proper stages for the small shell and the large shell. And that seems to be the only issue, and I think that's all going to be down to alignment, greasing, and that type of thing. Looks like it's going to relatively be the problem on this machine, but it is playing video. So we did get it to that point. We are now getting video out of this D2. And these D2s, when you get them, they never work. Every time you find one of these things, they're a real piece of shit if they've been sitting a long time. I've had people offer me these decks because they don't work, and I know for a fact these things don't work after they sit for a long period of time. They can be fixed. It's an expensive process. It's not easy work. I do work on these, but it's a little bit of work. A lot of things get broke on these D2s. And as you can see, let's see if we can get some more video playing on this thing all the way out. Shutter was working. All right, so we are getting video playing out of this deck. I haven't had it powered up very long, so this has been sitting for a long time, so it's always a good idea to power it up and just leave it run for a while, because these decks do have a lot of issues from sitting and everything else. But this thing has, at this point, I believe it's going to be a major greasing and alignment. I think the alignment is off, which is showing the indication in the control panel eject switch. It's not engaging at the right spots for the small shell and the large shell. So that's a very, very big issue. But at least we got it to play, so we know the cards are working, and there's no issue with cards wise. Let's see what we got here. All right, so if we go back, do some rewinding. I don't know how great these D2 tapes are, but when we rewind it, it is hauling, so it's got some good speed to it. All right, so it is working, especially getting it to this point. When you get it to this point, you're doing real good on it. So it shouldn't take very long to get it restored, but we're real close to having this deck done for the customer. And I know he's going to be very happy with it because this thing did not work at all. So what we got? All right. So might reseat the cards. Looks like it might have been sitting for a while, but this D2 does work after restoring the control panel, power switch, and working with the mechanisms, because the mechanisms were locked solid. The grease was solid rock on these things. It would not even move. Now we at least got the tape to load, so that's a good sign, and it's recognizing it. So that's a real good sign. So tomorrow I'll start working on basically trying to get this thing lubed, the lubrication, and trying to get the alignment, which is always a very, very big problem on these. But we did get it playing, so it does work. D2, you gotta love it. These machines, guys, if you are looking for one like this is a very heavy machine. And if you buy them off eBay, fair warning, don't, because they're not gonna work. I know this machine. Been working on it for years. Every one of them I've ever had is nothing but a big problem. So it's not a suggested idea of having one of these unless you absolutely need it for doing like tapes or some shit like that. But it's just as far as something to have, not really a good idea if you're not going to use it for production or transfers or anything like that. But anyways, D2, we're about 90% done. Tomorrow we'll work on all the other troubleshooting areas for alignments and greasing, so we can get it to take the smaller shell, which is kind of a problem because the motors are not engaging for that. So that means the motors are probably sticking in place. So we're going to have to get the alignment and greasing done on those. So hope you guys enjoyed this video.